So you've got some red hot tips that everyone should take note of. This is what you should do in preparation for an auction that you want to bid at. Where do you even start, Nick, in getting your head in the game?
Absolutely. Well, I think confidence is really important, and to get confidence before an auction means that you've done all of your due diligence. So first of all, you've got to make sure that you have your pre-approval of your finance, because if you don't know what you can spend, how can you actually go to auction? Really important to know that and have it in writing, which is important.
Is that to remind yourself every time that I look at this number and that is all I'm allowed to go to?
That is all I've got, exactly right.
Yes.
You've found your property, you must get a building and pest inspection. It's so important. So many times I've heard of poor first home buyers, for instance, going in, buying something and then realising it needs a new roof. Now that could be $10,000, $20,000 that they haven't factored in. So it's really important that you've done a building and pest.
Nick, I have heard from some agents lately that people are doing that a lot less, purely because they're going to more and more auctions. Do you think that it's one of those things that people are, not doing anymore?
Yeah, I think you need to budget for that. So you may well be going to 3 or 4 auctions, but if you're serious about buying that property, you have to get a building and pest inspection. It's 3 or 4, or actually, depending on the size of the property, between about $350 and $550. Now, I think if you're spending over $600,000, maybe as a first home buyer, you should be investing that amount of money as well. So get that ready.
And that's one of the biggest difference between buying at auction and perhaps putting in an offer just on a normal for sale, because you can do that post your offer, obviously differing between states, but the building and pest must be done before an auction.
Absolutely. You can't have any conditions attached at an auction. You can't have finance approval and you can't have a building and pest. So you need to organise all of those things before so that you've got the confidence to say, yes, I know it needs a new roof, but that's okay, I've factored it into my budget.
Okay, and then strategy on auction day.
Strategy is so important. Before auction day, you actually need to make sure that you've maybe spoken to the agent and found out how many people am I bidding against. Really important information, because when you don't have to register in, say, Melbourne, but you have to in the other states, you may not know who's up against you. You'd be looking at, okay, you might have finance approval to a certain amount, but what's your budget for that exact property? That one might need work, so you might need to hold back a bit of money. Have a look at that game plan. So am I going to start? If I'm a bit nervous, will I go, straight away, or will I wait and hold back? So you've got your strategy and your plan. Ask the agent before, as we discussed, that are they going to stop the auction, go inside and actually refer the bidding to the vendor? If they're going to do that, then at least you've got a bit of time to maybe get your bid in, of course, but you need to focus on your game plan that you decided to do before. Really important.
Is there anything to stop people from making the first bid? I know it's scary, you're standing there, but should you just show your cards and get out there and make the first bid and make it obvious that you really want this home?
Well, yes and no. So it does. Okay. So it does come back to that strategy. I think that importantly too, you need to actually make sure you've got your terms approved prior to that as well. So your 60-day, 120-day settlements, and that deposit that you're going to give. Again, coming back to confidence, Shell, and then on auction day yourself. So do you go in there with that rocket bid? Well, again, that comes back to, how many people am I bidding against? What have they missed out on before? What sort of, level might they go to actually on auction day? So auction day, of course, game day for me. I love it. Get there early, I think. You need to introduce yourself to the auctioneer. And many people would say, well, I don't want to show my cards, but I think you actually need to. They're going to come back to you if you've made a bid, and they'll always refer back to you.
Yeah, you don't want to be the stranger in the room, do you?
No, not at all. And I think if they know you, they will come back to you and they'll be kind to you and they'll be friendly and it will relax you, which is really important. Stand in a position of strength as well. You don't have to stand out the front where I like to stand, but you do need to make sure you can see everybody in the crowd. And the reason you need to do that is that you need to read those verbal cues and non-verbal cues. So if someone's shaking their head or on the phone trying to actually get more money from the bank of mum and dad, then you can read those cues and go, yep, they're almost out. So really important to know that that's what's going on as far as... Yeah.
That's it. And I think if you have done your due diligence, obviously you're ready, you're there. Take a deep breath and get the house that you want.
Breathe, be confident, and hopefully it's success on the day.
Absolutely. Well, good luck at your auctions today.
Thank you.